Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. It is January 2nd. Please excuse my appearance. I have a hair mask in my hair. I've showered. I am just kind of preparing to start a new rotation tomorrow, which I'll tell you guys all about. But this is kind of officially marking my halfway through third year point, but also my halfway through residency point. So I thought I would do a check-in with you guys about where I'm feeling, how I'm feeling halfway through third year, but also halfway through residency in general. So if you like this type of video or any of my other videos, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's jump in. Starting with halfway through third year, I would say the biggest difference between this point this year compared to last year is my comfort level with call. I would say I've gotten a lot more comfortable with call. I've called the chief less. I feel like I'm more able to handle things and make decisions on my own, and I feel more comfortable doing that, which is really good. That is what was one of my goals for this year. I still have a ways to go. I still want to get over that feeling of kind of like panic when I don't know the answer immediately, and instead of like double checking, thinking through the problem and coming up with a solution. I think third year has allowed me to do this because I'm also not so burnt out. As a 2, you carry the consult pager during the day as well as the same amount of call as the 3. As a 3, I like can hand off the pager in the morning and actually operate and do stuff, and I don't feel as burnt out as when I was a 2. So I just carry the pager when I'm on call. And I can feel myself, like I could feel myself at the end of I took call over Christmas, and at the end of those 5 days, I could feel myself starting to like revert back into like the just like, let's just get through this consult instead of like fully like thinking it through if it was a little more complicated consult. So I think burnout, being like way less burnt out is huge, and has a lot to do with it. And I really am just so happy that I am kind of over the point where I'm holding the consult pager every day. That is just a huge win to not have to do that. In terms of operative experience, I think that I've gotten more comfortable with open cases this year. Compared to last year, we do a lot more open cases. As a 3, more reconstructive urology, more scrotal cases, urethroplasty, stuff like that, and I feel more comfortable doing that. Certain cases like prosthetics and stuff I feel really comfortable with, and that's good because that's what I really love. That's like some of my favorite surgeries. And so that's exciting for me. I feel pretty comfortable with those. Some obviously are still like urethroplasties and stuff. They're always so complicated that I would not like be comfortable doing it on my own, but I just feel like I understand the steps and I understand what's happening. I understand the mechanics behind it. I understand the anatomy. And so all of that's really good and really helpful versus like doing cysto all the time, which is also good and really helpful. But this just feels like kind of like a step up, which is great. Obviously that's like the way it's supposed to be and the way it's set up. I think something that needs improvement and something that I want to work on for the rest of my third year is mentoring the 2s. It's hard because you're not that like far off in experience level or age, but I do think that extra year really does make a huge difference experience level wise. And I think that I feel like I don't feel as experienced as I am. And therefore, like, I feel weird, like giving them advice or like giving them help unless they ask for it, because as a 2, I always asked for so much help. That's just like how I am. I always love input, that I will definitely help them or give them input if they ask, but otherwise I don't really like do that because I don't want to be like, oh, like don't forget this, when like, I don't know, but I want to be better about mentoring them, talking them through things. If I see something cool, talking them through it, because I always really liked it when people did that for me, and it's a really good way to learn. So I want to do more of that as a 3. I also still just need to get more comfortable making decisions on my own. It's kind of stressful because now at the halfway point through residency, and the halfway point through being a 3, I feel like I should be more comfortable doing things on my own than I am. Not like procedure wise, like any bedside procedure except for SP tubes, which is like my albatross, but anything other than that, I am very, very, very comfortable with. It's more like staffing these more difficult consults, like the onc things. Definitely, I need to get a lot more comfortable with onc case or like onc consults and onc stuff, and kind of not looking so much at what do I need to do in this moment, but like more so big picture. Like, what do I need to recommend big picture for this patient? Like, what should we do big picture for this patient? That's kind of where I think I still need to work on that little divide. The other thing I really want to work on more as a 3, and I'm saying this so that I do it, is I still need to read more. Despite not, like I said, not being as burnt out, not holding the consult pager during the day, I have been so busy. I worked on a fair amount of research at the first half of the year and wrote like a book chapter, and that was really, really good for me. But I just have felt really busy. I also really, I think because I had more free weekends and free nights, I socially overextended myself a little bit in terms of traveling and like seeing people, hosting parties. I need to be better about like actually focusing on doing reading and learning and doing questions. Especially it's really, really important at this point, as we're getting closer to boards, as we're getting closer to all of this. So I really need to focus on that for the second half of the year. It's on my list of goals. I'm gonna start reading more. I'm gonna look at guidelines. I'm gonna like look things up more when I don't understand them. That's really on my list of goals. Career-wise, like I said, I've been doing more research. I wrote a book chapter, and I have 50-50 decided on if I'm gonna do fellowship. If I were to do a fellowship, I'm pretty sure the type of fellowship I would do, but I just am not sure if I'm quite ready to make that leap. My plan right now is the thing is I want to do fellowship, but I need to figure out if that's the right thing to do for what I want to do with my life. I am pursuing everything like I'm going to go for fellowship, and more than likely I will end up going for fellowship, but it's just something that I need to really focus on and think about like the long-term pros and cons of doing that. So that's what another goal for me, like as I'm moving into the second half of my residency, because it's becoming that time where I need to figure that out. So actually really kind of thinking through everything and coming up with a plan, and also a plan B. It's always important in case I don't match into fellowship, which could happen. Just thinking through and coming up with like what I would want to do in those situations, what I want to strive for, what I would do for plan B, all of that I really need to kind of start focusing on. I feel like I've been focused on making it through the last rotation I did, which was like our hardest, like busiest rotation as a 3. And now I'm kind of entering, still very busy. I'm starting peds tomorrow, which will be very busy, but a little maybe less busy than the other hospital. So I need to start actually focusing on reading and focusing on kind of planning out my life and kind of figuring out what I want to do, which is very daunting. I think another thing is just very daunting to think about. You know, you're in this like cocoon of being a junior resident and kind of still, even though you're getting more responsibility as a 3, you still have 2 levels of people residency wise above you, and then also the attending. But as you start to move into the latter half of being a 3, the hospital I go to, there's just me and a chief, and when the chief's on vacation, I'm chief. And then, you know, as a 4, you know, you just take on so much more responsibility, and then obviously as a chief, so I need to start kind of transitioning into that role. But yeah, overall, being a 3 is great. I think I get more autonomy operatively. I think I've learned a lot. I do feel more confident both consult-wise and in the OR. Again, something I really want to work on more. But I would say my main goals are reading more, getting more of that, you know, knowledge reading wise. I think I have a lot of hands-on experience and hands-on knowledge, but getting more, filling in the gaps with actual like reading the guidelines, I think is really important for me. And trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I will obviously keep you guys updated when I make a final decision and when that decision comes to fruition. But yeah, that's kind of my halfway through third year and halfway through residency check-in. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to kind of dive into anything deeper. Keep your eye out for more videos. I have some stuff planned and we'll see how PEDS goes. Bye guys.